What is happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. Today I wanted to cover some of my favorite all-time budget user knives, and we're going to kick it off with the Kaiser Mini Roach. This bad boy has a beautiful leaf-shaped blade in 154 cm, tumbled finish, multiple opening methods, and the flipper tab is removable. You have rich light honeycomb pattern scales, and this is going to be right hand carry only because of that pocket clip being recessed there. There is no option for lefty carry. Great access to the liner with some jimping on that bad boy. And this knife I used a lot when it first came out. You have that full-size choke up, just like the original big boy. And the one thing that's very special about this is the hollow grind that they did on this bad boy. It's about 3/4 of the way up the blade, and it comes down super thin. It is very good at cutting dense material. When I was using this a lot, I was cutting a lot of thermoply and cardboard. Thermoply is very dense, thick stuff and very hard to cut through, even when you're using a regular old utility knife. And this would just shear through that thermoply. Absolutely love this thing. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. The next one we're going to is the Sivir Riffle, and this is back when Sivir was absolutely slaying the budget line of knives, using great micarta, using 14C 28N, multiple forms of deployment with the flipper and the cutout. This has a high polished sandblast on it, I believe, and it has held up extremely well. This knife is probably 3 years old, if not maybe even a little older. They do offer a left-hand carry on this guy. You have a nice micarta backspacer. This thing is extremely comfortable because of that neutral handle. And then I love how this kind of angles back this way. It just kind of locks you in. Very nice. And then with that drop point blade, you know, you have lots of different ways and styles of cutting. You can get right up on that tip. You can get in behind things very easily. Just a great all-around user. The access to the liner could be a little bit better, but for the money, which these were $50 or so, I want to say, maybe even a little cheaper when they first came out. Hard to complain about that. But they do put some jimping on there, and it's not hard to get to or uncomfortable. It just could use a little bit better access, but all in all, this is a perfect budget knife, and this is definitely when Sivir was killing it, the Sivir Riffle. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Coming in third on this list, the Tingin Machine, the Vasti Nightshade. This thing literally ring-a-ting-tings every time you open it, and it didn't come that way. It just started to develop that, and it does it every time I open it now. This is a great user knife, guys. Perfect for anyone who does a lot of stocking shelves or cutting open pallets, getting in behind things that they have to cut, you know, strapping, twine, rope, anything of that nature. This is going to be just an excel point for those types of use cases. It's going to be perfect at nice, tight, precise cuts. You can get right up on that tip of the blade. There's a nice little area here where you can put your middle finger, get right up on that tip. You have a nice pokey tip, so it'd be good at piercing. This is going to have 154 cm steel. They did these in coated and uncoated flipper versions. They did whole versions, and I think they did combo versions. Micarta scales, pretty well done. Open construction. You have a deep carry clip. It's not going to be reversible. They did a copper pivot collar, gives it a little splash of color. Great ergos, guys. Great blade shape, that Schillen Kukri style blade shape. Good access to the liner with some jimping. Action is phenomenal. The capabilities of this knife are just fantastic. For the money, this is a knife that, you know, could potentially be a great user for you for the rest of your life, pretty much. Great steel, great handle material, great blade shape. You know, it's kind of a almost do it all, minus maybe a tactical side, but I could even see this being, you know, a somewhat of a decent tactical knife in the right hands. But for day-to-day EDC tasks and work type tasks, the Nightshade is definitely a great knife for all them tasks. Crown spine, yeah, it looks crowned. Yeah, it is crowned. So Vasti did a fantastic job on these. Great user knife. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. Next up, we got the affordable / budget Kuby Atlas Jelly Jerry design, 14C 28N steel. You have a nice black wash finish on that sheep's foot blade. Fuller going into a cutout with a rear flipper tab. Detent is tuned nicely for all the deployment options. G10 handles, deep carry steel pocket clip that will be reversible, open construction, lots of internal milling for weight relief. Great access to that liner with some jimping. This is more of a strict user work knife, and it excels at that. It's very comfortable. Something I can hold in my hand, you know, get it in and out of my pocket and use this all day comfortably. You have a little bit thicker G10 handles, and you can get right up behind that tip for precise cuts. Everything, you know, work related, with the exception of like chiseling and kind of shaving, you know, like a Tanto would be good at. This will excel at anything work related, and be very user friendly, and you'll be able to beat on this pretty good just because of the blade shape, and it's a little bit more of an overbuilt style of knife. Its bigger brother, the Premium Atlas, is an absolute tank, and this doesn't fall far behind that in its budget form. Definitely a great option if you're looking for that strict kind of user work style of knife, depending on your type of work for sure. But in most cases, this is going to be a fantastic knife. Fidgety as all hell as well. Great action. Great blade steel and shape. Greatly finished G10. You know, hard to beat Kuby for the most part. They do a fantastic job, and I love the Kuby Atlas. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. This next one has actually surprised me. This is from a company that I wasn't real familiar with, that I'm still not really that familiar with, but Remt made this, and it's called the Hand Feel. I believe it's in 9CR or 10CR, and it has done very well. You have multiple forms of deployment here with the thumb studs and the flipper tab. Pretty well finished G10. Good access to that liner. No chamfer or jimping, but still easy to disengage and get to. The action is good on it. Deep carry clip. I wish they would have kept the Remt off the clip there. I think they are now maybe, but they definitely weren't doing that. But they do keep the show side clean, and you have that nice spear point, drop point style blade, and it's going to be a great user blade shape. Your poking, piercing tasks, getting in behind stuff will be pretty easy to guide that tip into. And then you have a nice long edge here. Fidgety, nice and lightweight. Hard to beat this knife for the price point. I think these usually come in around $40 or so. Right around in there anyway. And, you know, it's ergonomic, comfortable, pretty good blade steel for the money. Fidgety, multiple forms of deployment. Nice blade shape. You know, Remt did a good job with this one, in my opinion. And, you know, it's hard to beat this knife. I've used the crap out of it. It's one they sent in for testing and review. And so I did that with this guy. And it's held up very well. Very, very well. Pretty pleased with this one. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. Oh, yeah, we're doing it, baby. Hard to beat this knife at the price point. You can usually get these for like 30 bucks or right around in there. The QSP Penguin in its original form. I have a couple other ones. The full-size one, the mid-size one, and the budget one. And this is still a fantastic, phenomenal knife. D2 steel, nice tumbled style finish on the blade. You have dual thumb studs for deployment, nicely tuned detent, great blade shape. Love that straight sheep's foot blade. Very, very user friendly. Very nice micarta on this guy. I have to recommend, if you're going to get a budget Penguin, get the micarta. At least this red is fantastic for the money. For $30, $40 around in there. Very, very hard to beat this, guys. And it is a reversible pocket clip that has been sunk. Now the screws do protrude a little bit there, but absolutely no issue with getting this in or out of the pocket. Good access to the liner. This basically is an icon on its own. In my opinion, I would take this probably 10 times out of 10 over the Elementum from Civivi. If all things were equal, I would take this 10 times out of 10. I love the blade shape. I love the handle. And I don't know which one has sold more. Maybe the Elementum, but this can't be far behind if the Elementum is ahead. But this knife has sold greatly over the last couple years, and there's definitely a reason why. If you're looking for a good everyday carry, user, work knife, this is going to be right up your alley, especially at $30. No question about it. QSP Penguin is a winner in my book. Next up, we got the CJRB Riff. Is this the Riff? No, it's the Ruffian. The Ruffian. CJRB Ruffian. There's too many. You got the Riffle, you got the Riff, the Ruffian. This is the Ruffian from Dirk Pinkerton. I knew it was an R and then I forgot. So we got the Ruffian from CJRB, and this is a knife that I have beat the hell out of, and it still looks awesome. That coating is held up very well. For what I've done to this knife, it has held up extremely well. I love that blade shape. It kind of angles up to that tip. It's just very user friendly. You have a nice pokey tip. RPM 9 for the steel. G10 handles. You have a deep carry reversible clip that is recessed along with the screws. Plenty of clearance. Nice pocket clip in my opinion. Good access to that liner. Good action. The cutout is fantastic all the way up and down this knife. Lightweight. Not a big knife. I expect them to do a big size or a bigger one in the future possibly. Maybe, maybe not, but we shall see. And I think, if you're looking for kind of a do-it-all style of knife, this is going to be pretty close to home for that because you have that nice pokey tip. You have this straight edge. It's going to do a lot of things very well, and it's going to be lightweight in your pocket. This doesn't weigh much at all. It's got a nice slim form to it, and it's a great price point. That'll wrap it up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what are the next batch of knives you would like to see on favorite budget EDC knives and user knives. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel or you are here and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video. I'd love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.